Do I need to push something?
Nah, I think you're good. Do you have a record button on your end?
Let me see.
Because I think as long as I'm hitting record, I think everything should be okay,
Oh, I
right?
just got something on the screen. Okay, says got it.
So Ms. Toasty is getting prepped for this conversation that we're going to have. Take your time, get comfortable. All right. And I do have like I'm gonna be flipping through some pages here too because I wrote some stuff down that I wanted to talk about. But so Ms. Toasty, right? Calisthenics athlete, founder of Empress of the Bars. A the correct me if I'm saying this right. Prozis ambassador. Is that
Yeah, process. Well, I'm
Prozis?
not an ambassador, I'm like a
Okay.
sponsor.
A sponsor, Prozis sponsor. And you have quite a few accolades as you can see the trophies in the back if you're watching this. Uh First international bronze medalist, which is actually really cool. 2020 NCA freestyle champion of the year. And if you wanted to just add more to that, because I see a lot of trophies back there. So what other accolades do you have?
I recently, in January of 2023, I got first place in New York,
Wow.
which was great because that's where I'm from.
For
It's my
sure.
home. So it's always nice to be number one where you live. um,
Definitely.
and then I got this was probably my first one from UFCL. I believe I was the first woman to do
Wow.
freestyle in the competition ever. I don't think that, yeah, I think it was me and this other woman, uh, Cooley, Quoley. I don't remember. It it was a while ago. Um, but I got second place there. That was my very first competition. Yeah, so I have four right now, four titles. I feel my best title would be obviously the first place.
Oh yeah, especially from being that, from you're from New York and you represented the city well, being first place, being a female first place athlete. But I actually wanted to get into the accolades after, but let's just get into that right now because I'm actually curious about what is the population of women in that freestyle calisthenics space?
So I'll start it off by saying that I was the first in many companies. I'm not sure like why or how other because I was in this a few years back and I was more of a spectator at first, watching other women. And I never understood, they were so talented. And I never understood why they didn't do more.
Yeah.
A lot of them stopped. And to make a long story short, just I decided that I was good enough to do
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
I
I
put some work in. I waited a while. I many opportunities came, but I think maybe I was just not ready, because you got to be ready mentally, you got to be ready emotionally, and most definitely physically.
Yeah, for sure. How's it physically?
Yeah.
And I do definitely want to give you your props for doing what you're doing because it's definitely not easy doing calisthenics, period. But the fact that you're doing the freestyle calisthenics, which requires a high level of skill, so shout out to you for that. So I just definitely want to give you your props on that one. And all right, let's just go back a little bit. How did you initially get into calisthenics? Like, what was your inspiration into getting into that form of resistance training?
So first I will say, and this is not to be cocky in any way, but I'm not really inspired by anybody.
Okay.
I've gotten to know a lot of people on calisthenics, and people perceive themselves in a different way when you get to know them.
Okay.
Um, And I don't know, puts a sour taste in my mouth. There's a lot of ego in this game,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Very egocentric.
and the way people act online compared to in person is a very big difference sometimes. In either way, I am a bit more reserved, private, and to myself. I don't really look for inspiration. I just try to work hard. I think about goals that I have, and I just push myself to get them. And I always believe in myself. I think self-belief is it's very needed in this
Yeah.
sport. Um, Often, I'm not a gymnast. I have no background, so there's no coach for me.
Yeah.
There's, the community in New York is not as friendly.
Yeah. I get that
Uh,
vibe.
yeah, I'm not sure why that is because I'm a pretty friendly person and I give a lot of love. But people are gonna be who they are.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You can't
Yeah,
let
but
that
I just
deter you.
feel so I'm just not inspired by anybody, to be honest. I'm inspired by myself. I'm happy to have gotten as far as I have. I'm a bit older person, so I just feel so wonderful about doing something that is impossible to most. I'm just grateful for my body, my mind. That I've gone through some sacrifices, but they have made me such a incredible person. And I hope that other people will think of themselves this way when they work hard for
Yeah.
things, because you should. It doesn't matter if you're at the top or at the bottom. I've been at both ends, and you know, it doesn't matter. It's just that you're doing it. That's what matters.
Nah,
Uh,
I love that because you're not chasing, like you're not really like looking at anyone's work. You're not chasing anybody's skill level. You're just working on improving your own, and you're not out there trying to compare yourself to see if you're just as good as this person or maybe even better or worse. And nah, is I think that's the way to go, to just focus on yourself and not be chasing other people's skill level in the sport.
I don't want to look like somebody else.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that would irk me a bit.
You
I
want
always,
Go
since
ahead.
I was a child, I like to do things my way, on my terms, when I want. I don't know.
No, yeah, that's how it should be, you know?
Yeah.
Like you've obviously grown over the years from the beginning because I know you've been doing it a hot minute. I mean, I followed you for a while and
Oh wow.
you've def yeah, yeah. You've definitely been doing a hot minute and doing it a hot minute. I noticed you've definitely grown as an athlete. And of course, when you grow in that aspect, in that respect, you're gonna grow as a person as well, you know?
Yeah, it's
But like
wonderful. Wonderful.
I I know growth is a beautiful thing, right? Spiritual growth, physical growth. Um, Physical growth being obviously a big thing, especially when you're doing something that you're doing, because doing flips on bars and all that crazy shit is that requires some skill, man. I don't know, but
I
like,
think more than anything, I don't know how anybody else feels about calisthenics, but it's all in the mind. It's actually your body is so capable, but the only thing that fucks it up is your mind.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
have any doubt, if you don't trust yourself, if you don't work properly for it, lots of boo-boos.
yeah.
Gotta
We'll talk about
be
that.
careful. It's not a
Yeah.
joke. It's an extreme sport for a reason. It's not for the weak, not the weak-minded. You have to really want it. You have to really work for it. There's no way around it.
Your mind will definitely fuck you for sure if you let it. If you
Yeah,
let it, yeah, yeah. I
it
mean,
really does.
you can even you through just through your mind alone, you can either collect wins or suffer losses.
Yeah,
Pick
I've
one.
done both. I've been
Exactly.
to, I've suffered some stuff.
Now, obviously, you said you weren't you never did gymnastics. You jumped into calisthenics. You started as a spectator, but like growing up, did you play any sports to keep you like physically fit, or like did sports lead into anything, any like into today's
So
calisthenics, or no
I don't
sports?
have no sports
No
background,
sports
no.
background?
I don't have any gymnastic background. I'm just a regular person who wants to be inspirational and just I just want to do the most with my life. And I
Yeah.
feel like this is the way. And anything that I have done, I always try to be the best at it, do my best.
Yeah.
And when I do that, often I am very successful. I have other business and I did the same and I became successful. I just have a really strong mindset. And when I work, like want something, I just figure out how to get it. And then I do it. And I'm not scared to fail. I have failed many times. I've had some hard times and I just push through. I don't know. I feel this is my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is something that I'm passionate about. It's something that I can look back when I'm old and say, wow, I did something amazing with my life, and I did it well. And I worked real hard and I kind of enjoy the work. The work is it for me. I don't mind to work for something because I know there's going to be something behind it that I will receive. No matter how hard it is to get, I will still get it because I'm going to work for it. And the work just gets you success. Like,
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
know how
I
else.
mean,
For me, it's so simple. People make things complicated. It's not complicated. You want what I have, you don't have to have any skill. Look at me. I couldn't push up. I couldn't pull up. I could not do dips. It hurt always. There's a lot of pain that comes with this, and you have to be able to be strong enough physically to take it and keep pushing. It's like nothing I ever experienced in my life. I've done some things, I've been a singer for many years when I was a child, so I have an entertainment background. But as far as sports, I never did anything so physical except for go to the gym. And yeah, I had a trainer once. But like that's about as, that's the only way that I even learned about fitness is mostly on my own.
yeah.
Um, I will say one thing because because I'm not a selfish person and I give credit to the people who got me here.
Hmm.
And I did date somebody who was incredible and he taught me everything he knew. Um, and he really pushed me and believed in me. And I'm grateful that I have met him.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, he did help me on my way. He was part of my journey. But I had also many other things that were part of my journey that got me here. And most of it was just in my head, my mind. I thought about it. I said, I want to do more. And I saw people doing amazing things with their body. When I first saw calisthenics, it was just opened my eyes. I was like, I could do that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, now, why freestyle calisthenics and not, just the basics? What was it about freestyle calisthenics that just drew you to that? Because I believe they do have basic calisthenics competition as well.
They have reps and sets. They
Okay.
have um, freestyle. So the history behind this is it started mostly reps and sets.
Okay.
And then people started to kind of add a little, style, sass. um, and often it's not said, but I'm gonna say it. It used to be more of a together sport
Hmm.
and somehow got separated through the years. And it's, fairly new, so people make their own rules, do their own thing. Freestyle is obviously more like entertaining wise. It keep you ooh ah ooh, and reps and sets is a bit slower, but still both sports are um, incredible. incredibly. And as a freestyle, a real athlete knows you have to do your reps. Like that's just part of the game. You don't do it, you don't get stronger. That's it. Simple. And you know, they started to put reps and sets on their own and freestyle on their own. And I do appreciate both. I'm more of a freestyler because, you know, from the age of 7 till my 20s, I was into music heavy. I did a lot of dancing, you know, just on my own. I would teach myself stuff. I met people in the city, talented people who did breakdancing and all type of stuff. And I would just take advantage of these opportunities and hanging out with these people. And it helped my music career in many ways. And I danced. So I feel like when I'm on the bar, it's like a dance. And to be honest, like life is real difficult sometimes. And when I'm on that bar and I'm doing these spins, it's nothing else I could think about because it takes such focus and it takes a lot of guts out of you. And you have to just be on point with everything that you're doing in that moment and keep steady. Like, you know, you make a mistake, it could cost you, which has happened to me. And I was out of the game for 2 years because
Wow.
of a very serious injury.
Wow.
But it didn't stop me. I kept going. Um, you know, I still have not healed fully because I want to say this happened during Corona. I broke my foot and my ankle. And so I could not use a leg for quite some time. And it took about 2 years for me to freestyle again. But I focus on my foundation and my strength. And it really, calisthenics saved me so many times already. And I've only been doing it 6 years.
Do you? I actually thought you've been doing it longer than that, but let's can. Do you mind getting into like your injury and stuff like that?
So I have many injuries because obviously I don't know what I'm doing.
You're definitely gonna sustain injuries, right? When you're doing
This
something
is
and you're
something
so
that
passionate about it.
this is something that you want to not only know these moves, but you want to be educational and how to build the foundation to get the move. What are the regressions, the progressions, the negatives, the positives? Um, and you have to have such good space awareness. Um, Even now, I feel my most comfortable ever on the bar, but I get hurt once in a while. Like I just freestyled the other day, and I have a huge bruise on my pinky because I grabbed the bar with 3 fingers.
Mm.
And this arm, I'm trying, you know, every time you try to do new moves, you know, you get slips. And
You're gonna eat shit
I,
sometimes.
yeah, like I don't have a coach. Like I haven't had a coach in maybe 4 years already, you know? Like I've been pretty much on my own for, I want to say it's getting close to more than half of my career in doing this. So, you know, I have what I have, what I've learned, and also I'm still learning. I don't ever feel like I know it all. I'm always trying to know more, be really educated in what I'm doing, take care of my body right, because I also don't want to be in bad shape when I'm old, you know, and I want to be able, um, I don't want to hurt myself to the extreme, which could happen, obviously. Broken bones.
2 years is a lot.
Yeah, it was a horrible time because I was at my best and it was like it was taken from me.
How did that affect you mentally?
I was a bit of a mess. uh, I was a mess, but I had been through some things prior to this that made my mind strong already. And I just took what I've learned in the past. I tried to be real positive.
Mhm.
Um, I worked on the things that I could do and not worry about the things that I couldn't. And it's the way that I got strong. I got my planche, which is a really hard move for a woman.
Mhm.
I was the first one to get it in
Wow.
America.
Oh
The
wow.
first American. Yeah, let me correct that. first American female to get a 3-second planche. Yeah, you know, and honestly, every time I get a move, something happens to me. Like, so now I'm dealing with a hamstring pull and a groin pull, which affects my planche in the way that I can hold my hip flux,
Yeah.
like push out, which also gives me difficulty to get front lever. So it's taken me longer. You know, I had an injury just recently. It's still bothersome, but more tolerable now. But I pulled the the tendon here where my thumb is and my
Yeah.
wrist.
Wow.
And so it took maybe 8 months to heal. So
Jeez.
lost lost some moves, but got them back. This happens often. Like, this sport is no joke. It's not for the weak. You cannot be an idiot and still try to do things that you shouldn't, but you still shouldn't give up, and you should still try. Trying is the best effort you can give, and it's the only way to keep going.
Well, yeah,
With
basically.
common sense. Like, okay, I can't do that. Let me try something else. And you know, I got my left arm strong. Started working on one arms. Yeah, one arm handstand. You know, so I just go with where my body tells me I should go. I'm very self-aware. I try to take best care of me, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. I only do now what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. And nobody is going to tell me nothing else. And I'm okay with where I am now. I want to go farther. I want to do more, but I'm very grateful for what I have now. I try to always keep this in my mind because it can be taken.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. And now, you know, who knows? So I go for it how I am. I'm okay. You know,
Yeah.
it's difficult, especially when you don't have no experience. You don't know what you're doing, no background, nobody's helping me. That's something I want to be very clear. Nobody is helping me.
You do it all by yourself.
I do it all myself.
Yeah.
You know who pushes me? I push me. You know who gets these new moves and learns them? Me. You know who cheers me on when I'm on that bar? Me. Nobody else. I want to be clear on this.
You're good. You're good.
Everything, all the credit goes to me.
It's like that it was Snoop Dogg was I think when he got the Hollywood star, he was saying I want to thank me for getting
Yeah,
myself this far. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I
yeah,
mean, at the end of the day, you're going to be your biggest critic and your biggest cheerleader.
right,
Like no
right.
no one else's opinions on you matters.
Not at all.
Yeah, no
If
no
everybody went this way, we will be peaceful. Nobody will be upset, jealous, hurt. Just do you. Worry about you. That's it.
exactly.
Who cares what everybody else thinks? Nobody ever, like, I'm like the underdog out here. Nobody believes in me. I believe in me.
That's all
And
that
that's why I
matters.
got where I am. Nobody else gives a shit, you know? Like, you gotta just keep it real. Maybe it's because where I'm from, this is the attitude, but I'm my own cheerleader. I don't need nobody else, and I'm okay with this. And, you know, if more people felt this way, we could do better. We could just be stronger, you know? It's sad the way things are now. Everybody comparing each other.
Mhm.
Uh, People pretend a lot, you know? I
I
meet a
mean,
lot of pretenders.
I think social media played a big role in that because now people are putting their whole lives out there, and
Which is
that's
incredible. Why would
it's
you do that?
it's unfortunate. I agree, but peop,
I don't
peop,
know.
when people put themselves out there so much, you're gonna have someone watching and watching, and then they start comparing themselves, and then they try to get as good as that person in whatever field, and then they feel like they can't get there, and then it fucks with them mentally, and then it just becomes a
Yeah,
whole big shit. You know, like I respect you for like you
Be
know,
yourself.
exactly,
Like,
exactly.
there's only one you. Why would you want to be anyone else? That doesn't make sense. That's why none of my moves look like anybody else. Let me tell you how many times people tell me, you should do this, you should do that. Don't do that. But you know what? All that stuff that people say, don't do it. That's what gets me where I am.
Mm.
They're like, wow, you're so different. It's a refreshment because everybody is so focused on looking the same,
Yeah.
acting the same, doing the same things. I don't know. I'm just not like everybody else. Since a child, I've been a leader. I don't follow. I don't like to follow.
Hmm.
I don't, even if somebody tells me like, oh, they're doing this like you, no, like then I'll change it up. Like I'll do something
Yeah.
else. Like I don't
Yeah.
want to see it. Many people copy me. I see it all the time. There's a lot of stuff I've been doing years ago that I see a lot of women do now.
Yeah. How do you
You
feel
know,
about that?
the only thing I feel about it, it just sucks not to get any credit
Mm.
because I was the first one out there. I sacrificed everything first. People have run all over me in this business.
Mm.
And I don't feel I gotten anything back from the community in that sense. I do a lot. There's not a lot of reward. So in this next year, I'm just focusing on myself. And I don't care what nobody think about that.
Man, it's crazy how you put so much blood, sweat, and tears into something and you love it and it just doesn't love you back most of the time.
Yeah, it's like the worst feeling ever. It's
Yeah.
like a lot of work for no reason.
But you're solid mentally because you don't let it break you. You just keep going and you get stronger
Yeah,
and
I don't care.
yeah,
Like at
it
the
is
end of
what
the
it
day,
is.
it's all a
It is
joke.
it is
It's a
what it is.
fucking
Yeah.
joke. Like it is what it is. I'm still gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm still gonna do it my way. Whatever. I am more loved and appreciated internationally than I am in my own state. People don't root me on. People don't support me. They pretend to, but they're never there when I need them. It's like, come on.
Where have you been internationally to compete?
Well, my first competition was in Mexico, which is
Mhm.
where I won third place. Um,
Was that the
and then
bronze first international bronze medalist? Was that it?
yes,
Okay.
that was the first. There was another American woman, I think from California, but she didn't win any placement.
Hmm.
So I was the first one to win placement. And then someone else did it the following year, another American woman. So like, I'm so happy to see America. Like, only because international, these women
America.
are just incredible.
Yeah.
They are so strong. And what really bugs my mind is that they have so much less than we do as
Mm.
Americans. They are so poor, and like it's incredible to me the spirit of a human being. You don't got nothing, but that don't stop you. You know, it's amazing to me. It's inspiring, and I feel so blessed to be able to compete with these women. It fills my heart. It was a wonderful experience. I was going through probably my loneliest, toughest time ever. And I put all my energy into competing, and that strength came through. That's what got me the third place. That's what I was
Nice.
told by the judges. They said your strength got you third. Like, yeah. I
That's
was
what's
like,
up.
yeah. All that work I did when my foot was broken and I couldn't move, and all I could do was rest
Upper
and
body.
hold.
Yep.
Yeah, like I could just do up here. Couldn't
Hmm.
really do nothing down here. Even my handstands changed a bit because I had to kind of have a dead leg to hold it up, and you need a full lockout for a handstand. So
Yeah.
that was difficult, but it works for me now because now my handstand's so much stronger. So, I just look at it like everything that's happened to me, that's the story. That's the way it was supposed to go. But I
It
got
was
through
it was
it,
written. Yeah.
pushed through. Yeah.
Part of the
And I'm
plan.
in an incredible place now. I'm a
Yeah.
happy person. I'm doing things more the way I want in the industry, in this community. I've learned how to maneuver. I feel
Mhm.
smarter, more eyes open. Like my intuition is good. I know what I should be doing, what I shouldn't. No longer breadcrumbing. It's an amazing place. It's great. Feel so grateful. My second international competition. I'm the first American to go to South America, female American.
Mm.
That was great. What an experience. I was at the best level I've ever been because these women, when I was told who I was competing with, are just out of control, amazing. And I was like, I got to come through with that same fire, you
Yep.
know?
Yep.
I always try my best. And, you know, my wrist was injured. I had many wraps on, which cut some of my mobility, but I just kept my mind on it. I said, I'm a winner, you know? I always say this, I'm a winner, I'm a champion. I don't have nothing to prove. I'm just here to do a show, and I hope everybody enjoys it,
You have
you
that
know?
winner mentality.
Yeah, I already feel
Mhm.
like I've reached the best I could be in my calisthenics, like dynamic strength. This is the best I've been. That's my opinion. I don't know how other people feel
You
about
should
it.
always speak highly of yourself.
Yeah, like this is
Yeah.
how I feel. You know, I'm just so grateful to have the strength I have, the mobility, the spirit, the fire. It still gets me hyped. Like I just love it so much. It's nice to connect to something
Yeah.
that loves you back, you know?
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love calisthenics for
That's what's-
everything that it's given me. And the things it's taken away. That's cool too. I learned a lot.
yeah, it's not always gonna be give, give, give. You know, it's gonna definitely
Yeah. A
take.
lot of sacrifices for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. You gotta be healthy, you know, you
Right,
can't
right.
be drinking and partying and all this. You gotta
Yeah.
be disciplined. A lot of discipline.
So what is that like? Like discipline as far as like your diet or your lifestyle as far as nutrition goes? How do you stay lean? Like how does that
I
work?
uh, I have very disciplined diet. I practice specific dietary. I basically do fasting until the afternoon every day. Um, I'm a vegan, so I don't eat meat or fish,
Nice.
dairy. I also exercise 5 to 6 times a week. I also remember to listen to my body. I need an extra day because my workouts are a bit extreme. I got a recipe I follow, and it works well for me.
Mhm.
Um, and I just always, when my body is feeling good, like right now, finally, I'm over most of my injuries. You know, there is still pain. You know, once you get seriously hurt, it doesn't really ever go back to normal. Um, but now things are a bit more tolerable. I'm feeling good in my heart. I feel good about opportunities. I have something coming soon. And I'm just gonna work on some new goals, new moves, while still cleaning and exercising my regulars. Yeah.
I mean, it's always about personal development and growth, right? Because it's always going to be I accomplished this and it'll be on to the next. And
Yeah, you
another
got to
thing,
push for the next thing. You cannot
yeah,
just stay
yeah.
comfortable and safe. You have
But
to
but but
like really
but
push.
but don't burn yourself out in the process either, you know what
No.
I'm saying?
You know, in
But
the beginning of my career, I did that. And that's
yeah.
what got me my broken foot.
That's another thing, you overusing, overtraining, that's how you increase your
Yeah,
injuries.
that's what it was. That's
But
what it was. I overtrained. I was just, it was the only way to stop me. That's the only way universe was going to stop me. I'm
yeah,
going to break your
yeah,
leg and get you to stay still.
yeah. Literally, gonna break that
Yeah,
fucking leg and you sit your ass
right?
down and
Like
chill.
I've seen people have some injuries
Yeah.
in calisthenics not working on their legs. Let me tell you.
So obviously, like, you know, being vegan, that does uh minimize your level of inflammation and stuff like that. So when you have less inflammation in the joints and in the body, you definitely recover quicker. So it's definitely a good thing. I don't know if you knew that, but even
Yeah,
eating, yeah, eating a
yeah.
meat diet, that's just like high inflammation in the body and the joints and stuff. But
Yeah,
um,
it's pretty heavy, you
yeah,
know, it takes you slow, it takes energy to
hmm,
digest. It doesn't leave your body in 24, you
it
know,
takes a
it
few
takes some
days.
time.
It takes a few days,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
Mhm.
people are too lazy to look into what they're putting in their body. It's very important.
Some people
Yeah.
just don't give a shit.
That too, you know, you
You
could,
know?
I've met people like this as well. You give them all the information, they don't take it. They
Yeah, you
just,
want they have like that. You only live once mentality. You know, is they
yeah. Yeah, but I'm
yeah
disciplined, but I know how to, I have fun. Okay.
yeah.
You know, sometimes I have ice cream and cookies.
What but what is your favorite like vegan meal to cook or to buy at a restaurant or to eat at a restaurant or your
Well, this is gonna
favorite vegan
sound so
restaurant?
generic, but I like salad.
Yeah, simple. It don't get more simple than that. Salad and fruit.
Salad
You know,
is so good. My favorite fruit is mango. I eat mango a lot.
love
It
it.
really does wonders for your skin. You
Mm,
know?
yeah.
Um, I don't really drink anything but fruit and water and protein, you know? Yeah. And I just try never to overeat, you know.
Yeah.
It's something I learned about the Japanese. They always say that you should never feel, you know, like that heaviness when you're
I
you're
hate that.
so
Yeah.
full,
Mhm.
you can't breathe, you know.
Yeah, no, I
I'm
hate
sure
that.
everyone's been there. But yeah, they are very portioned people,
Hmm.
you know, they're well not people, just their culture. Um, Gotta be careful how you say things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like more cultured with the food. They just everything in moderation, you know,
Yeah.
and they're pretty lean. A lot of them are pretty lean, smaller, normal, medium body, you know. Americans are large and in charge, you know. We want
Well,
to just eat, eat,
we
eat,
want
eat.
it. We want to
Yeah,
consume. We want everything in abundance. But
yeah, yeah.
The Japanese, or I would say maybe even the
Asian
Asian
culture
people, Asian culture. I don't
in
know
general.
how to word it, but like they're very disciplined. You know, like we
Yeah.
lack discipline
I
in
love
the
that
United
about
States. You
that
know. Yeah.
culture. I love it. It's so admirable. There you go. My inspiration is people's culture.
Yeah.
Things like that, you know. I tried to read about food as you know, and just educate myself in
Well,
fitness because I don't have any background.
you know,
And yeah, they just really they know what they're doing.
if you could control what you consume, whether it's whatever you're putting in your body or whatever you're consuming outside, like TV, people, social media, whatever, if you could control that, um, you pretty much you're pretty much unstoppable, like in a sense, you know, like you can't be
Yeah,
broken,
it's difficult, you
you
know.
can't be
I see
swayed.
people who can't control it at all.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
exactly.
it's difficult. It's not easy. I for me, it's easy. I don't know. I'm just my mind works a bit different than most. It's something I noticed most of my life.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I just I have a lot more control than others.
Hmm.
Uh, and once I kind of set my mind to something, that's what's going to happen, and there's nothing that's going to change. You know, anything that I wanted to stop doing, I stopped doing it. I don't have much, I guess it's, I don't have a very addictive or attached personality. It's not the way my mind works.
Yeah,
You know, so I know what needs to be done. I know what's best for me. And it's okay once in a while, you know, like I said, I have cookies sometimes. Sometimes I get me an ice cream. It's fine. I'm not like disciplined to the point where I'm punishing myself, you know? Like it's not that's how most people I feel about it. Like, oh my God, it's so hard. It's not really. You cannot miss what you don't have,
hmm,
you
for
know?
sure. You
And if
can't.
you do things, you know, slowly, a lot of people have these goals that are out of control. But how do you get there? Like, wait a minute, hold on. Let's just do one step at a time.
Yeah,
It's quite simple.
baby
It's
steps.
not hard at all. You
Yeah,
give, you know, what I when I first decided to be vegan, all I would do is just, okay, I really like this food. What can I have that's vegan, but will give me that same taste, feeling? You know, it's
yeah,
simple.
yeah,
So
for
much
sure.
food. People are lazy, they don't want to cook, you know, like
But you
it's
know,
it's difficult in that way. But I'm so used to it. It's not difficult at
they
all.
say when in doubt, just eat a lot of fucking fruit. You'll be hydrated. You get all your vitamins. You get all that shit.
Fruit
You
is
know?
so great for you,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know? Certain colored fruit is good for certain parts of the
Yep.
body. Anything blue, it's good for the mind. you know,
Eat the rainbow.
blueberries and blackberries are good. I
Eat
love those.
eat the rainbow. So
Yeah, I eat so much fruit.
yeah,
It's like you don't want to eat too much either because it's sugar, you know.
I mean,
You
it's
have to
not the
be careful
same.
with that as well.
Yeah, it's not the
You
same
you
though.
can get a lot of sugar from fruit. Too
You
much
can,
if you
yeah.
overeat. Yeah, everything in moderation. Remember, just keep things even. Everything's balanced. Balance is best. You
What
need
about
both.
like a nice vegan slice of pizza?
Pizza, okay. Let me tell you, my favorite food in the whole world is lasagna and pizza. Oh man. You can make lasagna and pizza, spinach, vegan cheese,
Yeah.
you know, from gluten-free,
Mm-hmm.
organic pasta. I also only eat organic.
Yeah.
I know where my food's coming from. I try to be really aware what I'm putting in my body, where it's coming from, what the brand represents. Yeah, just look into things and I try to just I want my body to be able to execute the impossible. So I need to give it all of these pleasures, these wonderful things to heal it, to keep my body lean and
To nourish it, yeah.
yeah, just give it everything that it needs so that it can continue to grow. You know, after breaking my foot, there's many things I learned to give myself more calcium and for my joints and yeah, just these exercises that I could do that are not so strenuous, that are so helpful. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to be on 100 miles per hour the whole time to get far.
Yeah.
Slow and steady, slow and steady, slow and
Slow and
steady.
steady wins the race.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Uh
It took me a long time to be as accomplished in calisthenics. It didn't happen overnight.
mastery is a lifetime, you know.
It is.
Mastery is it takes a lifetime. It's
Can
not
I ask
just
for a bathroom break? I had all of this water. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back.
yeah. I'm gonna talk to myself.
All
So
right.
she went on her bathroom break. Maybe we'll edit this out, maybe we won't. But why the fuck not? So listen, calisthenics, requires discipline just like anything else. Learning how to do a push up, learning how to do a pull up, learning how to do a muscle up, all that takes practice. Practice makes progress, not perfection, but progress. And you have to be consistent day in, day out. Pick one day, work on your pull ups. Another day, work on your push ups. Another day, work on your dips. And just be consistent and be better at it. And that's how you can improve on calisthenics. And especially if you're a female, right? It's not too many females out there doing calisthenics or competing in calisthenics competitions.
I have
And
that.
calisthenics requires discipline, and she is back. Let's talk about Mizbarfit. Mizbarfit,
Yeah.
on your shirt, yeah. So, what is Mizbarfit?
Okay. So I started it because, as I said before, people are not so warm out here. Um, and I felt like I needed to create my own family,
For sure.
my own support. And so I was looking for women. Also, there was a lot of women not competing and that were just so good. And I'm like, what is going on? So I did some searches, found some women. It started at 7. We are at 5 now.
Nice.
Uh, and we've been going for over 2 years, I want to say. And I just picked each individual girl based on their personality, their drive, and we are all very close. We're like family. We talk regularly. We keep each other motivated. We do workouts together, and each of them live quite far away. None of them live in New York,
Mm.
ironically. But I also bring them together when I do my event, and they are allowed to choose what they want to do in the event, give them free range on that, whether they want to compete or they want to help in some way, whatever they want. I created it just to help women,
Yeah.
to also like give the opportunity. I'm the first all female calisthenics freestyle and reps and sets in North America.
That's beautiful.
But nobody's doing this. I never understood why, because the women are so amazing. Like they do sometimes better than the guys.
No, it's true.
And I'm just like, why are they not like more, meeting with the men,
but it's
Sometimes
like
prizes are less. It's not, it's really weird. I don't know.
I mean, it's like the NBA versus the WNBA, right? The
Yeah, it's always
WNBA
like this
gets
in
no
all for
love,
the women.
but the WNBA, some of them girls, they or all like that whole league, they put in work. Like they work 10 times harder
They're amazing.
than the men's league. Because they have so much more to work for, right? They want more respect. They want more money. And
But
but
also the women
yeah,
are not supporting the women either.
but that's the problem with today. Everybody's so
So much
divided. But
ego. It's all
yeah,
over.
yeah.
It's all over.
But that's beautiful that have that Ms. Bar Fit. You have a group, and I hope it
Yeah,
grows. I hope
I
it.
make sure we have peaceful, calm girls,
Yep. No
women who
drama.
are competitive in the sport, but not in real life. I try to bring a well-rounded
Yeah.
group of women. I'm very picky on who I choose. Um, and if anyone ever gives me a problem, I just let them know you're done. That's it. Move on.
Zero
Find other
tolerance.
opportunity. Yeah, I have zero tolerance because I'm a kind person and I will do a lot for people. And as I said before, I don't often get much of that back.
Hmm.
So a person gets tired.
Nah, yeah.
Also, the event, I am the biggest sponsor. I do the most. And if someone gives me an issue, instead of seeing the greater picture, that this is an opportunity that's not given, and this is the only one,
Hmm.
you know, it's just crazy how people are these days.
Yeah.
So I'm just not going to tolerate any nonsense. And also, as I said, I'm an older person. I just don't feel the energy. I don't want it.
You know what it is? There's enough room. There's enough out there to go for everybody. There's
Yeah.
enough room at the top for more than
Hmm.
one person, but people just they don't want that. They want to be the only ones at the top, you know?
Yeah, that's
They will
not possible.
they will step on fingers and toes and heads and all that shit just to get there.
And they do. And they
Yeah,
do.
for sure, definitely. No, I see it for sure. But all right, so Empress of the Bars,
Yeah.
talk to me about that.
Well, so I am a spiritual woman.
Uh huh.
I know a lot about tarot, and in the tarot deck, Empress is the strongest of all the women in the deck. This is like when you've reached your highest self, and it's not that she gets there so easily either. She goes through many struggles, pain, losses, sacrifices to become this Empress, as in real life. If you read anything about the way things were ruled hundreds of years ago, what an Empress job actually was. She's the ruler of all. Everything goes through her and the emperor. And so, um, over 2 years ago, I was going through some dark things. I can laugh now. Yeah, and I felt as if I was growing into an Empress, that these are the things I had to go through in order to be my greatest self. And so when I came out of that, I had this idea for this event. And I have been a part of some really unfair judgment in calisthenics. And also, men get bigger prizes money wise, where they get $1,000, we get $100. Why?
Jeez.
In what world does that make sense? That
Yeah.
means women don't have their rights. We are not considered equal. It's not fair. And not that I'm a feminist. I don't like to box myself, and I'm not someone who is just one thing. Because I also agree with men having their rights as well, no matter what shape, size, color you are. I think that all people should be treated with kindness and equality. That's it.
Yeah.
And women are not. And we are being taken advantage of. And I've done a lot for the community, nothing back. So I got sick of it. And I said, if they're not gonna do it my way, I'm gonna make something and
Start
do
my
it
own
my way.
shit. Yeah.
So I've also been a big help in an event that I was help organizing for a few years. I won't say any titles there.
Okay.
Um, so I had the experience. So I knew what could go wrong. I knew I was organizing and helping with that. So I learned, all the backstory to it. Okay, gotta do this like that. Put it all together. I'm a pretty organized person. I know a lot about the sport. I have some good connections. And so I use my power as an empress. And, when you're a person who is growing, who loves themselves, is a happy person, you attract these energies to you. And so I did. And many people wanted to be involved. Um, and what was great was that these girls were amazing. They were like at the top in this time.
Yeah.
And so I did my very first one. Uh, I talked it over with a friend. She helped me greatly. We had a good time doing it. And we brought all these women together, and it was the most wonderful feeling. And I had just wished that maybe something like this existed when I started, because it was way more difficult for me. And I had to compete with these men. Like it was just, yeah. And they didn't put any effort or energy into the women. So barely you would even remember who was there. And compared to the men, there was like 20 battles of men and 2 battles of girls. And
Wait.
often it was with a high level, with a low level, and it didn't make sense. Yeah,
What?
so much things were unjust, and I decided I got to do something about this, and I felt that I could, and I enjoy to give, and I thought, yeah, this is my chance, and it was nice to put my energy to something positive while going through some things.
But you know what? You you didn't have it when you started, but now you started it, and you're paving the way for other females coming into the game to maybe be inspired to start their own thing. So
I have seen some things come about
yeah.
after, which is nice. I remember from the moment I first started to compete, I didn't really see anybody, especially in America, competing. Maybe one time I saw it. And ever since I started, and that was 2019
You
was when
started
I went my first competition, 2019.
2019.
But I was doing calisthenics for about 3 years at that point, I believe. Um, yeah, and ever since then, I've seen women competing like crazy. So it's like, yeah, I started something, me and other women as well. I don't want to give all the credit to myself.
Yeah.
Uh, there were other women in New York too, doing the thing, and blessed that they did it, and I did, and with all of us that we could not be unseen. It was wonderful to be a part of that, and I made some kind of history there. And also with my event, I'm just honestly grateful to be able to do it at all. Like, I'm a lucky person. I feel uh, that this is not something many other people could do or wish to do. It's not an easy thing. Um, but it's once the event is happening and I see all the women there, it's quite stressful. And then I'm there and I'm like, yeah, I put 6 months of work in and look what came about. And the second one was even better than the first one. We had almost double the girls,
Wow.
which was like, whoa. So I cannot just imagine what the third one will be.
Yeah, I was gonna
Um,
ask you that too. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I've already started to do a few things here and there. I do a 6 month thing because it does bring a very high stress. And also I have to focus on myself. I cannot do calisthenics forever. And while I can, and I'm at
Mhm.
my best, I want to put more effort into myself.
Yeah.
But, soon I will really start putting serious work in a few more months.
Now, obviously, this when you stop competing, you'll have Empress of the Bars, and you're going to be running that, and it'll grow over time. So like in a few years, let's say 3 to 5 years, like where do you see Empress of the Bars?
I would say if I look at the future, I definitely see it growing because already I have more women coming to me this time than I did in the first one. I'm seeing the growth. Um, Also, I really would like to bring it international,
Hell yeah.
go somewhere else. I've gotten some opportunities to do so. So I'm not sure if that's what I'll do this time or the next. The thing is, not only is it just all about the women, it's also about this is my home, New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't really want to bring it away from New York. But at the same time, the support here in New York is so poor
Yeah.
because there's another event in the same location and it's crowded. So people are here, they're there for it. But where are they when the women, are performing and they put so much work, just as much work as the guys, man.
I mean,
Why no why nobody shows up?
yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So I have to do what's best, not just for the company, but also for these women because they deserve a crowd. They deserve people to be loving them, and that's what I want to
Mhm.
give.
That's
And
dope.
it's so hard because it's not in my power. I could just do what I could do. But if people were more supportive, it would be so greatly appreciated and helpful to keep growing for these women. And yeah, there's nothing more that I could do but just to keep doing it. And that's what I'm going to do. There will be one every year, no matter what I got to do. I'm going to get it done
Yeah, for sure.
because that's what the right thing is. And if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. So,
I mean, your biggest support system is you, and
yeah, I mean, I'll
obvious
be there.
there's women behind you. There's women behind you,
Yeah, the
you
women
know.
who go,
Yeah, the women
those are the
behind you.
women. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to see,
That number's gonna grow every
support.
year.
Mhm.
Like I'm from New York. I'm born and raised, right? New York doesn't support anything. That's just what it
It's
is,
crazy.
unfortunately.
Why? We're such a powerful
So
city.
competitive,
What
bro.
is
Like
going on? So competitive. It's cool to be competitive, but in the right ways. You don't have
yeah.
to be like that in life. I also see that calisthenics is turning into boxing, like the way they go at each other. What is going on? What is going on?
Um that's that's not a good thing to say, right? Obviously,
No,
but
I'm like, when I came in, it was a friendly sport. I don't know. Everybody was cheering for everybody, even
but
their competitor.
when things grow and become more well known, there's this level of competition that grows, and division and envy and this and that. So that's gonna that's unfortunately that might even be the same when there's multiple female events going on as well. I hope
I've
not,
already
but
had this happen
yeah, there
where
you go.
women are a bit too much and they had to get cut out because I don't care how it grows over there. As always, I'm gonna do it my way.
Yeah,
I don't have it's all peace.
keep that drama
We
over
can
there.
have fun. Yeah, let's keep it even, guys. Keep the balance. Yeah, I really just don't like negativity in any sense. Like I just try my best to keep peace always. I got a bad temper. I don't like to be angry because it's so large, my temper. So I'd rather just keep it down. Like,
A lot of people won't understand like your level of thinking being so private, even though you are kind of technically a public figure, but just being super private and just kind of like isolating yourself sometimes, and being wanting to focus on positivity versus like drama, negativity, and violence, because you know what you're capable of as a person. You know what you can do if it ever went that route, but you don't want
it's
to take
also
it there.
like
Yeah.
people I feel like it's just better to be a bit more reserved
Of course.
because people will enjoy putting you up here, but in the same breath, they enjoy just as much to take you down. Um, and I experienced both sides, people treating me different when I was losing, people treating me different when I'm winning. A lot of people see what I'm doing with my event, and all of a sudden they want to befriend me, and they think that I'm stupid or something. I don't know.
Keep the
Um,
grass cut.
yeah, like you know what though, I
Mhm.
have been stupid, so I understand. Like they just trying to take advantage, but now I'm too wise. I can tell. Um, Yeah, and if I make a mistake, which I'm a human being, I make mistakes. Sometimes I'm too nice and I do too much. But whatever, I ain't gonna change because I like the way I am. And no matter how many people do me wrong, I'm still gonna be kind. I'm still gonna give. I'm just gonna be more aware of who I'm doing this with.
Yeah.
You just gotta learn in the experience.
When people speak for long enough, they tell you their true intentions. So that's why you
Oh,
you speak less, you listen more, and everyone's intentions will reveal themselves. You know what I'm saying? If you let them
absolutely.
talk for long enough, that's why I tell you to
Okay.
keep the grass cut because the snakes will be visible. Um,
Yeah,
you know,
that's a good one.
but
Oh yeah.
you earlier you said calisthenics saved your life, right? So like how has calisthenics helped you like overall, like physically, mentally, up until this point in your life?
Um, so when I was a child, I had some traumatic things happen to me, which created my mindset at this point. Uh, and I do suffer from stress and other things that I'm not going to say
Yeah.
that make life a bit difficult. And so this type of exercise regularly just helps me to kind of like smooth things over. I feel lighter, better, helps me sleep, because it's so much. And like you work out so hard, you're like dead. So that's great, helps me with the sleep. Also, I have been through something most recently, over 2 years ago, that was one of the more difficult things that I've been through. I would say it's definitely at the top.
Yeah.
Um, and what I did was focus on calisthenics, focused on my championship in Mexico. And I turned all that pain into power. And I created a strong physical self, also mentally. When I felt like I was having a bad day, I, I just go to the gym and do some freestyle. And I was like, just feeling great. Like I said, it takes so much focus that you cannot really be thinking about other things because you could get a boo boo. So you have to be really in it, mentally. And on the days where my mind isn't right, I just don't go as hard, or I practice things that I know I can get that are pretty simple, which just long term helps me to be a cleaner athlete and be more masterful in the moves that I'm doing. You know, I listen to my body and my mind when I work out. Some days I go hard like a savage, and some days I'm soft and sweet.
Hmm.
I go with
As you
whatever.
should be.
Yeah, I go with the
Yeah.
wave. Whatever the wave is telling me, that's the way I go. And I don't fight against it. And I don't push myself too hard to the point of stress that I'm thinking negative things, or I can't and I'm too tired and all this. And just it helps me in so many ways. It helped me get through what I went through. It helped me even in the beginning from other things that my mind was occupied with. It was the moment I could just be free of all of it. I couldn't think of nothing but flying around. It's just dancing in the air. It's quite beautiful.
It's an art, it's a beautiful
Yes,
art. Yeah.
it is. I love it so much. It's
Yeah.
probably the most passion I ever had for anything.
I see that. I can feel it, just listening to you speak. What advice would you have for like any young girl that's coming up in the calisthenics game or who wants to start and get into calisthenics and
I would
compete?
tell her or him or any youngin that take your time, make small goals first.
Yeah.
Small goals first. Always see what you would like to accomplish,
Yep.
visualize it, but allow yourself the patience to get there. No matter how many times you don't get it, keep going. Don't give up. I think the most important thing is not to give up, not to give up on yourself, not to give up on the move.
Yep.
Never think that you can't. Always know that you can, that you will. Visualize it. If you could see it in your mind, you could do it
Yep.
for sure, 100%.
For sure. Beautiful. Beautiful answer. Well said.
Okay.
Now, now for the next Empress of the Bars event, like, do you put that stuff out there? Like, how can a woman, a girl sign up for that if they want to compete?
Well, I actually just opened a linked tree, and I put it's it's on my Instagram and on my Mizbarfit account.
Hmm.
You just click it, and the registration is right at the top. So it'll be easy to register. Um, I'm working best I can with what I got because I'm not over here rich, not yet.
There you go.
uh, so I have to do what I can. Not, that's it.
Yeah.
It's not quite where I want it to be, but I'm working on making it a bit more easy to register, easy to find information. Website is something that I'm working on right now. So far, I just got the registration, the easiest thing I could start with. But those things are in the works
It'll
for
get
sure.
there. Hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, where it's just easy. You can see the rules. You can see where it's located. You can register. You can see the contract because I have all these athletes sign contracts,
Mm.
um, et cetera, things like this, so that they
Okay.
know. I think that's at the very least, they should just have this access.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know? Yeah, a real athlete, you should have contracts, paperwork, you
Hmm.
should have payment, registrations, safety regulations. Yeah, all of this stuff should be available.
Disclosures and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, everything like this so that before you do anything, you know what's going on, easy to get to.
All right, this was beautiful. So I got one little question. Where can people find you? How can they get in contact with you? How can they see your work? How can they see your skills and all that good stuff?
So I have Instagram. My company, this Ms. Barfit,
Ms. Barfit.
Mizbarfit. Yes. And I go by Toasty. My Instagram is Mizz Toasty, Mizztoasty. Um, and I post all of my progress on there, moves that I'm trying to get. Sometimes I'll post my fails so you can see that I'm
You're
just like
not
everybody
perfect. Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll post something that I look pretty tired or it's not as clean. But I also post the things that when I do a great job. I post my events. I also have a YouTube uh, where I post more full videos, especially when I travel. So my last event that I did in South America and Brazil, so the full video is on there.
Oh, you got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's like more exclusive, the YouTube, but you get everything. It's not clips, like more. My Instagram is more like just clips of what I'm doing. It's not full videos.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and the Mizbar Fit right now, I just have the Instagram and everything on there. You can see videos. Soon I will be loading our YouTube video of the event, edited, beautiful video. My
Nice.
videographer did so amazing. That's
Hey,
to be done this
that's what's
week.
up.
Super excited to post that. It's
Dope,
it's
man.
pretty awesome. I already saw it and I'm just like, oh,
Yeah,
Cheers.
I'm definitely gonna check it out for sure. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I'll have that on the Instagram too. I'll put a clip. Also, my event is not just the event. I always exclusively take these athletes out after. So this last time I took them to the Ritz-Carlton at this place
Damn.
called at this place called Nubaloo. And it is a rooftop. It's the most beautiful view for anyone who has never seen New York. This is just a great place to go. It was right there. You could see the Chrysler building. The lights were gorgeous. And I usually do this after the event to just show my appreciation to them, and have them treated like they should be treated, you know? This is why I think I'm doing it this way so that they can have things to look forward to. And I don't see any other, I've done events and it's not, they don't do anything really.
Yeah.
You know, people come from all over the world. You know, the least you could do is take them for some food. Like,
I mean, you say you ain't rich, but your actions speak otherwise. Ritz Carlton, rooftop
I
money.
am
I'm just
very
joking.
good.
I'm just joking.
let's
But
let's just say that I'm very good at using what I have. You know, my
yeah,
other business, I
you,
work with high-end clientele. So I took these women there because the one of my clients owns this Ritz-Carlton.
all of that is a tax write-off anyway. So
You know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I try to use what I have and do the best. And I do this with everything in my life.
But
You
that's a
know, I
beautiful
don't have a
thing.
lot, but I can make things happen. You know,
I
like
know
I'll
that.
do what I can.
But think about that. That's a beautiful thing because that's how you know you will grow and you will succeed because you're doing what they're not doing. They're not taking care of their people. They're not taking care of the people that are paying to enter these competitions who are risking injury, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so
like
people are,
they're putting it all on the line, just like these other football
yeah,
players, baseball
exactly.
players, basketball players. They work hard,
People are going to
extra
see that.
hard, and they get the world. And
Yeah.
it's like we're not quite there yet, and it's because we're, you know, you got to act like we're there,
Yeah.
so that it can become
Yeah.
fruit. You know, plant the seeds.
The biology of belief. Read that
Yeah,
book.
so like they know
Yeah.
they come
Mhm.
to Empress of the Bars. Not only do they get to compete, I also give high quality photographer photos of the event. So you get all these photos of yourself. I do interviews for these women so that people could get to know these women. Because who is doing this? Why aren't we getting to know these athletes? What are their names? Where are they
Yeah.
from? What kind of personalities do they have? You know,
Let them put
it's
their
amazing
stories
to
out there, you
watch.
know? Let them put their
Yeah,
stories out there. Let
they
them,
get video,
yeah, let them get
all this
notoriety.
smoke.
Nah,
Yeah, it's
you're definitely gonna blow up. Your Empress of the Bars is gonna be a big deal. Like I
I
know
hope
it
so.
for sure.
I'm
Yeah.
praying on it.
Let's put it out to
I'm
the
gonna keep
world,
going,
you
keep
know,
pushing.
speak it
That's
into
all I could do.
existence, manifest it, believe it, all that good stuff.
I do. I believe in these women. I believe
Yeah,
in myself and what I'm doing because I know I'm doing it for the right reasons. Too many people of power should not be up there. You know,
exactly.
I think people get praise and all this for what? What are they doing?
Exactly.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Damn, I wanted to ask you this. This is gonna be the last question. Mizz Toasty, where did that name come from? I wanted to ask it in the beginning, but we got into the accolades.
I will only say one thing. I'm a baker.
Oh, okay. I got you, got you.
I'll leave that to the public to decide.
Yeah. Let them decipher that, right? However they want
Right,
it.
let them figure it out.
Yeah.
I like to be a little mysterious. Think it makes
I,
it
s- yeah, I
fun.
see that. That's cool.
Also,
That's
I
fine.
think that you don't have to give what you don't want to give. I
Yeah,
think people misconstrued this in life. You have to do nothing you don't want to do. It's totally up to you to give information that you want to give,
well, yeah,
and that
like
you're right as a human being. You do what you want, not what other people expect or other people want. You know, and that's why I don't mention my name or my age because I feel people would discriminate if I
mhm.
did say.
People
Some
will.
people think it's inspiring, but it may also be, like I said, misconstrued because you don't know what it will do to your image. I manage myself. I need to protect myself in every way that I can. And some people may not understand or get upset because they don't get what they want from me, but that is not my problem, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, and my life works really well. Nobody knows who I date or if I'm dating. I
Yeah.
could be single. I could be married. Who knows?
Who is none of your damn business.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You know, the only thing people are gonna ever know is where I'm performing, when Empress of the Bars is coming out, and that I know a lot of women.
All all that matters. Yeah.
Right, yeah. I know a
That's all
lot of
that
women in
matters,
the
you know.
industry. It's wonderful. I get to meet so many women, amazing women around the world. So blessed.
Go against the status quo and rattle some cages because that's what you're doing. Keep
I
doing
think
that shit.
I'm good at
Yeah,
it.
keep doing
People
it.
love me,
That's
but they also hate me. You know,
love
I'm
it.
not for everybody. I have a strong personality. I
People
know
pe-
that.
people got your back until they see that you ain't with the bullshit and you're not gonna go along with the crowd. You know, you're gonna do like you said, you're gonna do what you want, when you want, how you want. And that's when people start to judge you, and that's when you start to lose friends and this and that.
Oh
But
yeah,
that's
it's already
okay.
happened to me. I've been
That's
there,
okay.
done
Yeah.
that. Like I've
Keep the
already
circle
been through.
small. Keep the circle
Yeah,
small.
yeah. When
Those
I'm doing championships, people are,
yeah.
all about me. But then, like I said, when it comes down to it and I need them there, there's maybe one person. Like,
That's it.
and I'm cool with it,
Maybe
whatever.
maybe that's all you need.
Yeah,
Um
I just need myself.
Ms. Toasty, She Bakes. Thank you so much. This was dope. Had a dope
Thank you for having me.
conversation.
I
Keep
enjoyed it.
killing it. I'm gonna watch your growth, and I can't wait to see you at the top with a bunch of lovely ladies up there killing it.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
You will see something's coming. I got something coming in March. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, y'all. Go give her a follow. Go hit up that YouTube channel. Go subscribe. And thanks again. This was dope.
Awesome.
Miss
Thanks for
Toasty.
having me. I appreciate your time.
One love. Peace.
Peace.